Hello, and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Terry, and this is another edition of Terry's Carnivore Treats. Pemmican. Have you heard of it before? Do you know what it is? It is a Native American food. It was one of their staples, made from all sorts of meats that they would dry and then pulverize and grind up very fine, and then they would mix it with tallow. And it would last for years and years and years, like 50 years or something like that. It is something that I've been making and enjoying for a few years. I've had a few requests to share the process and whatnot. So I thought I would bring that to you and share with you today. It is not a difficult thing to make. It's just a little time consuming just because you have to let the meat dehydrate, and then you grind it, and then you mix it with melted tallow, and then I vacuum seal mine to make it, like I said, last for a really long time. Let's go get started, and then we can get to, the pemmican and the tasting. I love that stuff. It's really interesting. It's different than anything you've ever had before, and it is not what you expect. Oh, I will also say one big, huge tip. When you eat pemmican, be sure to drink a glass of water when you eat it. It is very dry, very concentrated, and it can actually cause a little bit of backing up, which is unheard of eating carnivore, but this one will do it to you. So there's my tip to you. All right, let's go get started, y'all. Hello, I'm hiding behind all the gadgets. You will need a dehydrator to dehydrate the meat, of course. And then you will need a grinder to grind up the dehydrated meat. And then you will need a silicone mold or a mold of some sort to weigh out your portions of pemmican. I always like to weigh out like 7 or 8 ounces, which is, a meal. Like I don't want to weigh out a snack. So I have this silicone mold here. And then of course, when they're done being set, I use my vacuum sealer to seal them, to make them last for so long. And then I used to use the roll of bags, and now I've got different size vacuum sealer bags. It's just easier. And you'll be able to find all of these items in my Amazon storefront, which I will link in the video description below. Now let's go take a look at those ingredients. When I make pemmican, I use 2 ingredients. First, I use my beef tallow that I have rendered myself from beef suet. I have a video on how I render suet, and I'll leave a link to that in the video description below. And then I'm very fortunate. I have brothers that hunt and that share. So here I've got some fresh venison backstrap that my brother recently, he went hunting and he very generously shared with me. So I'll be defrosting that. And then when it's defrosted, we'll move on to the next step, the dehydrator. And then after the dehydrator, we'll be grinding and then mixing. All right, so I'll see you back soon. When this is defrosted, we'll get ready for the next step, dehydration.
The most important thing when making pemmican is to make sure to use lean meat. Game meat works perfectly for this. So does bison. I slice the meat in the same size pieces so that it dehydrates evenly. When dehydrating meat for pemmican, you use a lower temperature and a longer dehydrate time than for jerky. You'll know it's done when it's crispy and breaks, and there will be no give to it. I tuck the dehydrator away in an unused bathroom so I don't have to hear it working. After dehydration is a very important step. Make sure to weigh the dehydrated meat. This is important. Now it's time to get out this super powerful grinder. The grinder's all set up. The meat is ready to go. This grinder is so powerful, it takes about 30 seconds to get that meat into such a dried fine powder. Now to weigh out equal parts tallow to the dried, dehydrated weight of the meat. The ratio is 1:1 tallow to dehydrated meat. You'll want to melt the tallow on low heat, and as soon as it's all melted, you pour it in and mix it up. I have to share a very funny story the first time I made these, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. At some point during the mixing, my eyes and brain saw brownies. The whole entire time, my nose smelled meat. So it was a very big confuse to reconcile that, because see what I mean? That looks like brownie batter, y'all. It really does. And it kind of acts like really fudgy brownie batter too. But trust me, it is nothing like brownies. Since this was a smaller piece of backstrap, I made smaller portions than usual, about 60 grams, which would be equivalent to about 5 ounces of raw meat. I write the weight, the date, and the ingredients, and it goes in the pantry until I'm ready to eat it. And here is the final product. This is what it looks like. Yummy. I can't wait to dig in. You see, I've got my glass of water there to help hydrate the meat as it goes through my body.